Yeah, just a quick review of the Isotoner arthritis gloves. These gloves are made specifically for people that have hand arthritis and symptoms like pain and stiffness, although people are using these gloves for other things as well. They work in two ways to help hand arthritis. Number one is they provide compression, which helps decrease swelling. When swelling goes down, able to move your fingers around a lot better and also less pain. And they also provide warmth, which warmth, and heat always helps any kind of arthritic symptoms. So a few points about these particular gloves. They provide moderate compression. They have actually a level of, I think 23 to 32 millimeters of mercury. So anytime you get like a glove that has serious compression, they always rate them by millimeters of mercury, and that's how much pressure, kind of like a blood pressure cuff. When you take your blood pressure, the cuff goes around. That's measured in like millimeters of mercury. So any like serious glove that provides a lot of compression, you always want to know, does it have like minimal, moderate, or maximal compression. So these are one of the few gloves actually that I've reviewed here that actually tell you how many millimeters of mercury of compression they have, and that's pretty good. That's like moderate compression. And for sure, it's not just like a glove that's made of, has some elastin in it. So it feels a little tight, so we'll say it's a compression glove. They actually went out of their way here to measure it, so that's really stellar. A couple other things, you have to hand wash these, so keep that in mind. You can't just throw them in the laundry with your regular clothes and stuff like that. And this also covers the hand and the wrist as well, which is really notable. A lot of compression gloves just kind of come down to about here. They don't go all the way here. So if you have trouble with your wrist or any kind of wrist, arthritis, these are really good. They do extend down more than most. And I like the fact that they don't have any cloth over the fingertips in case you want to use these for like sewing or texting, that kind of stuff. So yeah, these are actually, I think, one of the better made hand arthritis gloves out there. So the question is always hey, do you get permanent, temporary relief, that kind of thing? Well, basically, I think you put them on, you get relief, you take them off. After about half an hour, you kind of get back to normal. But I think you can use these, however, to get more permanent relief, and I'll tell you how. You have to use several treatments at once. So this is one treatment. So let's say you take things like hand exercises. We know that take anybody with hand arthritis and you're able to, strengthen and stretch out their joints, they're going to feel a lot better. But you can't do that right now. So what you do is you put on these gloves, okay, and after about 30 minutes to an hour, once your hand gets warm, the compression gets rid of some of that swelling, then you're able to actually do some exercises. So then you do, like say, some range of motion exercises. And I use this as an example. Treat your own hand and thumb osteoarthritis. Basically, now you're able to actually do some like range of motion exercises and further get rid of some more of that stiffness. So if you go to like occupational therapy, or see a hand therapist, they're always going to have you do range of motion exercises. And why is that? Well, one big reason is because the joints in your fingers and your hand are synovial joints, and synovial joints get their nutrition through the synovial fluid that it secretes. But that synovial fluid gets spread around the whole surface of the joint with motion. So if you're only able to move that joint in partially, like halfway, like you're not able to bend your fingers fully, it's parts of that articular cartilage that aren't getting enough synovial fluid like it should. So you do range of motion exercises, get that synovial fluid spread around. Synovial fluid provides nutrition to the joint, so that everything just works a lot better. So yeah, there's some range of motion exercises here. You can do some strengthening exercises with like a dumbbell for your wrists and your fingers specifically. This one's really neat because it actually has something for your thumb arthritis. And that's real common, base of the thumb arthritis. Actually, a muscle called your abductor pollicis longus muscle. Here's a picture of it. It attaches to the base of your thumb where the problem is when you have a base of the thumb arthritis or basal joint. Carpal metacarpal arthritis, that's another word for it. But anyway, yeah, it attaches right there. So if you strengthen this muscle, and you just do the exercise like a couple times a week against some resistance, I think it's like a rubber band, you can strengthen that muscle, gives you a lot more support and stability in that joint, so you have a lot less pain coming from it. So you got lots of things you can do. But hey, you might not be able to do it until you put the gloves on. That enables you to do the exercises, and the exercises give you longer term relief. So that's, I think, a good way to go about it. But yeah, these are fantastic gloves, so definitely check it out.